Have you ever wondered, what is the point of life? Why am I here? What is the worst perk of this one LEGO game which does not get updated anymore? Well, if you did, my name's Simple, and I'm here to answer that. Not all those questions, just the ones that truly matter. Decaying Winter has got lots of perks. Some are good, some are bad, and then there's this perk, the worst of them all. Drifter. Drifter is one of the biggest newbie traps there are. His ability is so bad, and yet some people still praise him. He is the worst melee-based class in the game. His ability is to either press F to cloak and turn invisible for scavs, and be fast, or hold it to dash forward. While being cloaked, he has a special weapon which deals 90 damage by pressing mouse button 1 and 150 damage by pressing mouse button 2. Doing mouse button 2 ends the cloak instantly, and doing mouse button 1 takes 25% of the cloak's effect duration. He can also cloak his teammates. Upon doing 4 hits, usually but not always, killing 4 enemies, Drifter can be used to lure Queen away from the castle. Drifter's pro immunity to exhaustion is, to me, one of the best traits there are, and his cons also don't affect him too much. By holding F, he will also set up a beacon which he will teleport to once his ability runs out, which is only useful for luring the Queen out of the castle and possibly killing your entire team. Note about the cloak effect, it's really bad. I mean, really. While yes, it can buy your teammates a little bit of extra time, they cannot really do much in that time. I mean, if they start attacking enemies, their cloak will disappear, so you can really only use it to recover. And why is Drifter the worst melee-based perk? First, I'd like to explain what I define as a melee-based perk. A melee-based perk should have its traits and ability based around melee combat, such as Berserker or Arbiter. And why is Drifter the worst one? Well, other perks' abilities usually help them in melee combat, whether it be a Berserker increasing his damage and resistance, Executioner incredibly increasing his damage, or Arbiter stunning and damaging his enemies. Drifter doesn't really have that. I mean, sure, he can deal up to 150 damage on a single enemy, but then he has nothing. He can only kill 4, and once his ability runs out, he's left with nothing. He cannot even use ranged weapons, unlike Arbiter for an example, so he's doomed. And to top it all, his ability recharges painfully long. In that time, Arbiter could have done more than 5 of his shots. That is just awful, like what the hell, who designed this perk? Not only his ability takes ages to recharge, but it's also just terrible. And to top it all, melee-based perks have been nerfed extremely in the combat update, making scavs range 150%, meaning that they almost always hit you. And once you get fractured, you're gonna have a terrible time. Not to get confused, I didn't make this video because I hate this perk. It is actually one of my favorite perks, and I love the idea of sneaking around and killing enemies. But it was just done terribly, and it really hurts me to say that the only thing I like about this perk is the no exhaustion pro, which is very satisfying to have, as exhaustion is one of the most annoying things in the entire game. But that is not enough to justify everything else about this perk. And if you say that in good hands Drifter can do well enough on his own, while that is true, But also in those hands with a different perk, you'd be doing just as good as with any other perk. Drifter gets outclassed by pretty much every perk, and that is why I believe that Drifter is the worst perk in the entire game.